So, the last match of the 12 days, this 12-day tournament with 96 men and 96 women, unique in the world beneath the Grand Slams. It's Moya against Agassi. So, Jason, just before we start, who's going to win?
I think Agassi's going to three-peat today and win a record 6th title.
And if he does, he'll overtake the missus, because Steffi Graf, his wife, won here 5 times as well. It's Agassi to serve. What a start by the defending champion. Well, you couldn't ask for more than that. Is he focused or is he focused?
Well, there were some questions as to whether playing 3 matches in 3 days was going to hurt Agassi, but because it's only a best-of-3 set match, he certainly didn't feel that it would. And I think that it played him into form very, very nicely. He's improved with every match he's played throughout this event, and I think he's going to play his very best tennis today.
Well, incidentally, we've had 5-set finals here since 1996, when it became an 11-day tournament instead of a 10-day. It had become a 10-day from the start, but and now a 12-day tournament, of course. But because of television requirements, it's best of 3. Well, today's match is likely to be a battle for command of the baseline and the opportunity to come to the net when anything is below perfect length or less than perfect in length. Well, he will discover, as all Agassi's opponents do, that the court's a little bit wider at his end than the other end.
Well, first serve's going to be very important for Moya. He's got to get a high percentage in so that he can dominate the rally with his forehand. Have a little look at from Moya's end.
Yes, he who hesitates. Well, you're looking at arguably the best returner of serve ever. That is what you're going to have to do a lot of today to hold him. 122 miles per hour. Second fastest already. He served one at 126.
Well, it was a perfect rally, really, for Moya until the last shot, coming in on the slice, trying to keep the ball low, and then on the forehand cross-court volley, electing to go deep instead of short. No reason to beat your opponent for length on that shot, and as you can see, just missing the baseline.
Yes. Patience personified.
This is where Agassi can hurt Moya most, by trying to exploit his backhand and then coming into the net whenever he gets the opportunity to do so. Coming around the outside edge of the ball on that last volley to create the angle.
Because you were saying he's going to have to serve well. That mighty kick is a beauty, isn't it?
Well, that's what he's going to try and expose Agassi as well, getting it short up the court so that the American has to move out, and therefore it gives Moya the opportunity to hit into the space.
Goal. He sees the ball earlier than anybody I know.
And if he picks it, he takes a short backswing and he uses all the pace of the serve and just redirects the ball. So effective.
Well, he's not going to ask which foot. He probably knows it was the front foot that twisted onto the line. And that's what I was meaning earlier. If the ball is short enough, they will come in. But they'll be very wary about coming in on anything at all risky, because the passing shots of both are so lethal. Moya's backhand's been going so well this week. And his forehand, well, lethal weapon too. Moya having to work rather harder for his service game than Andre.
I think that'll give him a lot of confidence, having come through that little test. Excellent tactics from the Spaniard, I thought. Used the serve into the body there. Agassi's so good when he's got room on either wing, and using the body serve to good effect. You mentioned how well Moya has been hitting his backhand this week, and that's absolutely right. And it's going to be so important for the Spaniard to be able to maintain this kind of form, because Agassi is going to be looking to pepper the weaker side.
Playing here today for the 17th time. The tournament's been in existence for 19 years now. Moya, it's a 7th visit to Biscayne. And out of your picture, Moya toweling off at the far end after another grueling rally. There are the winners and unforced errors. That was a forced error. Power and precision of Moya forcing the miss, and a break point. Remember, Moya has saved 3 on his own serve just now.
Well, nice pattern of play from Agassi, going back behind his opponent and hitting into the wind, so he just had slightly higher percentage of making the shot. Breeze just blowing slightly across the court. I think this is the advantage Agassi has over his opponent. Moya's backhand is his weaker side, doesn't quite have the accuracy and pace on the passing shots, and Agassi taking full advantage of that with a nice short volley.
A little bit of tension down there, and as you said, a little bit of wind. Be careful. Quicker one, 115, 2 mph slower than his fastest today so far.
Moya's got to make the most of second serve opportunities. Look at the footwork, getting around, giving himself space, and then Agassi expecting the inside-out forehand, which is the shot he used most. But the variation there working excellently.
Drifting wide with the wind. Trying to change the pattern. So a good mental battle going on here. Never been past the 4th round before this year, Moya, so it's a triumph for him. 1999, Grosjean beat him there, and in 2001 it was Ljubicic. Agassi with some difficulty holds serve, and he's ahead 2-1 in the first set. Well, I think the wind is going to have an important bearing on the outcome today. They're going to have to be very careful about how they deal with things like drop shots.
You've got to really make sure you hit your drop shots into the wind as opposed to trying to hang it on the breeze like Moya attempted in that last game, and the wind just drifting it wide. It's interesting we discussed the wind. I think that's one of the reasons Agassi has such a good record here in Miami. He's talked about the fact that he has short backswings and he has a low ball toss, and he brings his targets well inside the court when he's playing his tennis, so that he feels he plays very, very well in these conditions. And I think it being windy today means that it's an advantage to Agassi. Darren Cahill will certainly hope that that is the case. Working together now for just over a year and doing a very, very good job.
Agassi full of praise for the Australians' knowledge of the game and help that he's received. Juan Bosch, who is coaching Moya. The Joffrey Porter School. Joffrey Porter not here himself this year. Bosch is. Well, already it's clear that this is going to be a pretty grueling battle. Just waiting for the crowd to settle. First time they've been able to come in, of course. No sit down at the end of the first game. This is the first chance for the latecomers to find their seats.
Can you sit for now? Thank you. Players already.
Trying to become the first Spaniard to win this title is this man. Well, there's a face you may recognize under the blue cap. Rod Rocket Laver, the winner of 2 Grand Slams, the only man ever to achieve that distinction, and a great champion. Australian, of course. So again, danger time for Moya, 15-30.
Agassi passes so well on the run. Moya electing to come in with the slice back and up the line, but Agassi hitting into the wind. It's a very high percentage shot for the American, going cross court at the low part of the net. So effective.
We saved 3 break points in game 2. 2 more here.
This gives you a good indication of just how breezy it is down the court. Agassi really not taking any chances on this smash, just playing a high percentage volley to win the fight.
So the first break, and on the evidence so far, Agassi still in quite superlative form, playing very measured tennis on a difficult windy day.
Been playing for 21 minutes and he's made 2 unforced errors. In these conditions, incredible.
Players who hit with a lot of wristy, whippy topspin often mistime the ball on a windy day.
That last rally was a perfect example. If you take a look at where Agassi's shots are bouncing, they're bouncing 3 or 4 feet inside the tram line and the baseline. It's high percentage tennis.
Cahill hiding his feelings behind those dark glasses. And because Cahill in his day on the tour was known as Killer, and he seems to have imparted the same the same sort of feelings in Agassi here. So Agassi absolutely dominant at the moment. 1 break, 4-1 to him first set. I suppose when we look back at his career, we will marvel most at the fact that Wimbledon was the first Grand Slam of the 80s won.
We will, and we'll also marvel at the fact that he was able to win all of the Grand Slams. And it's always one of the questions that people debate most, whether somebody like one of his rivals, Pete Sampras, is a greater tennis player than Agassi. Sampras, of course, never winning the French Open, but Agassi able to do that. And I certainly feel he's a more complete player. He's able to play on all of the surfaces. Sampras, for me, was somebody that was able to dominate for a longer period of time, and therefore that showed greatness in itself, but in a different way. But if I was choosing a career, I would choose one in which I would have won all of the Grand Slams.
And there is Mrs. Agassi, Stephanie Graf, as she now likes to be called, here with her mum Heidi. Stephanie now Graf, Mrs. Agassi, here with their firstborn, Jaden Gill. Gill, of course, the second name of their son, in memory, not in memory, but in recognition of the help that Gil Reyes has given to Andre Agassi over the years, the strength trainer at the University of Nevada, who brought him to peak fitness before his win, particularly in Paris at the French Championships, the last of the Grand Slams, of the 4 Grand Slams, to complete the set. That was in 1999. Moya, the French champion, also, of course. And his year was 98. So they followed one another with titles there. Where the ball during the course of that rally bounced very close. No overrule from Carlos Bernardes. Must have slipped the line. Unlucky that Agassi's made a very fast start again today, like he did yesterday. He had a very long game here in Costa, 17 minutes the first game. Oh, second foot fault. Something just blowing across. It was a bottle. One of the plastic bottles, very light, of course, when empty, rolling across the court with the wind. It's very light. Oh dear.
Moya here trying so hard to get around and not hit a backhand, because Agassi's been able to expose the backhand so well. He's really struggling on his first serve percentage, and that's an indication of how well Agassi's returning.
The wind didn't blow to help him there.
And it was an excellent serve into the body. That's one of the things that has caused Agassi a little bit of a problem today, and it's something that Moya should persist with.
And that, I think, is another thing he must persist with, trying to come into the net and forcing Agassi on a difficult windy day to make his passes. But on the right shots only. Relief, I think, in the Spanish camp. There, again, under terrific pressure. Agassi standing right inside the baseline to return those serves. Amazing.
Must-win game for the Spaniard. No way you can give Agassi a double break and expect to get any change out of the set. So he'll be just hoping for Agassi to miss a few first serves and then get the opportunity to use his forehand as much as he can on the return of serve and put the American under some pressure.
looking at that peaked cap. I remember the time when there used to be a blonde ponytail streaming out of the back of it over his shoulders when he was quite the punk player as a young man.
It's a nice pink lycra as well, which I'm glad to see he's got rid of.
There was even a pink fingernail, for one says, and an earring. He was quite the pirate when he won here back in 1990. The remarkable thing, Jason, is that he is both the youngest champion here and the oldest. He was 19 in 1990. Last year, of course, he was 31, now 32. Extraordinary man. Well, if you're going to do that, you've got to hit a winner because you're way out of position. And it's a gamble that has worked once when he came down the other line. Pulled it down Agassi's forehand line, but a risk. Well, that was the first really rather strange shot we've seen from him. He's played such a compact and errorless match so far. Oh, a call by the linesman overruled by the umpire.
Carlos, esta fue al mismo tiempo porque él aseguró la llamada.
It was right on the line.
No, él es así, aseguró la llamada.
Moya's just arguing that Agassi had actually played his shot and missed it, so therefore he felt he shouldn't have to replay this one.
It's a judgment call by an umpire always in those circumstances, and the judgment of Carlos Bernardes is that we will play a let.
Sí, por eso que aseguró, ha hecho así. No, sí, pero por eso que él aseguró la llamada, hace y seguró.
Thought that the call of out had disturbed Agassi's attempted reply. Well, so feeling somewhat aggrieved, his opponent, as Agassi takes a 5-2 lead into this changeover.
Water, please. Water, please.
It is a difficult one, that, isn't it, for the umpire, I mean, to make that judgment call, because somebody's going to feel aggrieved.
Yeah, but I think he made the right decision in respect to that last shot. Agassi's one of his most underrated parts of his game is his serve. 79% of points won when the first serve goes in and only 50 on the second. You would expect that because you would want Moya to attack the second serve, but he's serving at 70%. And over the years, he's really improved his serve, as has Carlos Moya. He's only serving 48%, which isn't good enough when you're playing against Agassi. First serve points won 42%, and a little surprisingly winning a high percentage on the second serve, but perhaps that's because it's windy and the ball does tend to move a little bit if you hit a slightly slower shot. But both these players do have excellent serves, and it's not a part of your game that you instantly think about when you're thinking your strengths of either player, but very effective shots.
It was the same with Bjorn Borg, you know. He was so good from the back of the court that one forgot what a brilliant server he was. And he got better and better. That final against Wimbledon final against Nastasi, his first win, it was his serve as much as anything else that destroyed the Romanian. So you're absolutely right about these two. And we talk about how to beat Agassi. It's easy from our chairs to suggest things, but go down and try it on the court. Not so easy. So the Masters Shield, that is what they're playing for. One of the prized possessions in tennis. The Masters Series, 9 of them. And then the Tennis Masters Cup, jointly owned now by ATP Tour, the Grand Slams and the ITF. A culmination of a year's hard work for the best 8 players. Moya, with the new balls, it's 2-5.
One of the occasional times when Moya's backhand has really worked for him, taking a risk, changing direction on the ball, going over the high part of the net, but doing so successfully. Didn't quite time it, just hitting the bottom of the racket, but just catching the edge of the line.
Well, full marks to Moya. When you're in that position of trailing 2-5, you want a quick service game to throw the onus back on your opponent, and he's achieved it to love. Now Agassi with the task of trying to complete the job in this first set.
It's never easy, and Agassi himself confessed the other day that he still gets nervous when he's out on the court, so let's try and put a little bit of pressure on the American, particularly early on in the game if the Spaniard can. Agassi's so good, he's under pressure. He always plays the high percentage shot going back cross court, and then he's so quick moving up the court to take on the early ball. Look at the intensity, watching the ball, the wrist underneath the ball, getting the necessary spin, which gave him the control.
Wonderful serving, responsible for this 40-love lead and the 3 set points. Getting the short reply so that he can attack with safety. Being aggressive is what you try and be when facing set points. Try and take the fight to the enemy. Past me if you can. Second set point. Yes, he wants the ball boys always in their appointed places, calling the boy up from the back of the far end where he'd stop. Oh, brilliant.
Well, Moya was under extreme pressure here. Agassi is so good at moving his opponents around the court, but you see there the spin, bringing the ball back into court.
A little bit of help from the wind that way. So the third set point. That's it. And trust Agassi to find an ace when it really mattered. At the third bite of the cherry, he completes the job 6-3 in 41 minutes. Well, I think a lot of lessons for anybody wanting to know how to play in difficult conditions. Agassi well within himself all the time, not taking unnecessary risks and finding first serves, particularly in that last game when he really needed them.
That's why he's so effective, and that's why he's got such an incredible record at this event. I mean, his first serve percentage was excellent, 70%, because he does go for his first serve, and then he mixes it up as well in terms of direction and pace, so it's very difficult to return. 17 winners and only 7 unforced errors in these conditions. Incredible tennis, and putting Moya under a lot of pressure. And Moya will have to improve his first serve percentage, because 45% against somebody who returns serve as well as Agassi simply isn't good enough.
Well, I want to see that set point. Again, here it is, the set point. Eyes focused. Up it goes, and like a bullet down the middle. Look at those eyes. And had it come back, because it was so good, it would have been a short ball, and you would have seen him leap in and attack it. Darren Cahill, absolutely thrilled with that performance. It was a good performance. Well, this lovely 14,000-seat stadium, which was opened in 1994. We're in our 10th year of this stadium here at Crandon Park. The 19th tournament overall, and the brainchild of the Buchholz brothers, Butch and Cliff, started life at Delray Beach in 85, moved to Bucharest in 86, and it's been here in Key Biscayne since 87.
Second set, Moya to serve. Thank you.
The start of the second set, then, it's Moya to serve. Good as the serve has been today, that's only the second ace. Straight at the body again, 124 miles an hour, too hot to handle. Well, now, tactically, is there anything Moya should be considering?
Well, he's got to try and cut down his unforced errors early in this set. Throughout the week, we have seen Agassi struggle in patches in matches, but not...
You're a poet.
but not for whole matches. So I think if Moya can try and put enough pressure on the American by continually serving well and cutting out his unforced errors, perhaps Agassi will lose concentration and focus, and then the Spaniard can get a little bit more confidence and then start to use his forehand even better.
Love one. There's his wife there, sits there always. Doesn't give much away, but obviously she gets thoroughly involved.
15.
So he'll have bragging rights, will Andre, if he wins this today, because Steffi won 5 times as well, this title.
Well,
he continues to find the winners when he needs them. Amazing record here, of course. He's won 17 consecutive matches, and that's something that only Pete Sampras has done before him here in the men's game in 93 to 95. And it's true, isn't it, that you do have an affinity with certain arenas.
You always feel good when you come back to an event that you have an excellent record at, and it just makes you feel comfortable and confident when you walk out onto the court, and therefore you play better.
The only time I've really seen him embarrassed out here was when Rios beat him in the final. An extraordinary performance by the Chilean left-hander. Made him world #1. And that day, the extraordinary thing was that Rios was out Agassiing Agassi.
We all know how talented Chilean is, and it was a real disappointment for me to hear in the press conference this week that he was thinking of retiring because he didn't have the motivation to continue. So interesting to see what develops there.
Yes, the backhand's still the problem today. Oh dear. Although that double fault was a nuisance, it's his first. And it's the backhand, really. 6 of his 13 errors have been on the backhand side, and that's just what you said might happen. Been under a lot of pressure. I mean, Agassi's attacking that wing. But we're talking about unforced errors, and that's the trouble. Serve to the rescue as Moya keeps his nose in front in this second set. He's 2-1. Well, of course, you've got to have good advice at this game, and all the players need to lean on their coaches.
It's very important to have somebody in your corner that you can rely on and you can trust. You can talk about your matches. They can get you prepared. They can take some of the weight and responsibility off your shoulders. They can book the practice course, the transport, and they can just leave you to concentrate on your tennis, and therefore hopefully you're able to perform your very best.
Juan Bosch, who is part of the Joffrey Porter group, and he trains with the physical trainer next to him. Bosch, of course, is the travelling coach. Porter stays at home most of the time in Spain. And he has been an immense figure in world tennis, not just Spanish tennis, and thank goodness was saved for the game from a very serious back injury. And that was in 1999, the year he was named by People magazine one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. Well, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Agassi absolutely focused today.
Thank you.
Up to 6 aces now.
Really intelligent tennis from Agassi. Excellent spin on the approach shot to get the ball to dip into the court, and this ball is swirling around, so instead of taking a full swing, he just plays a high forehand volley and hits it nice and short, so that Moya had a great distance to cover if he was going to get to the ball.
No sign of weakening in the Agassi serve. rock solid. It's difficult to see now what Moya can do. He's got to raise his game or hope that Agassi goes off the boil, but over the best of 3 that's unlikely. Best of 5 it might have been a bit different, particularly since Agassi played yesterday and Moya had a day's rest.
15
That's one of the problems playing against Agassi the last 18 months or so. If he's on his game and he's not making unforced errors, he's very difficult to beat.
Well, only one man has achieved that distinction in the year 2003, Thomas Enquist. Agassi, the reigning Australian Open champion, he won in San Jose. Enquist beat him in Scottsdale, and that is the only loss this year.
13-15.
As well as the amount of victories, it's the manner of the victories that has been so impressive this year. The wins have been so comfortable. He's been that much better than his opponent, and that's the difficulty for Moya today.
14-15.
Good serving again from the tall Spaniard, and it needs to be maintained at that level if he's going to stand any chance at all. He's got to hope for something to happen. It's Moya, 3-2, second set.
Well, first serve is absolutely crucial. We've seen this week already, Agassi has only run into problems when he's played against players that have exceptionally good serves, dropping a set to the big Australian Mark Philippoussis, and dropping a set to the big Moroccan Younes El Anaoui. So Moya needs to improve upon his first serve percentage, and then he'll have an opportunity to possibly get back in the match.
I felt the quality of play, both from El Anaoui and from Agassi that day, was as good a couple of sets, the first 2 sets of tennis, as I've seen this year.
Without question, both players are playing some of their very best tennis as they come to the twilight of their career, which I find really interesting.
Yes, there's life after 30, certainly in the tennis world. They proved it. Moroccan 31, Agassi 32. Todd Martin's done well here. So don't despair. You over 30s?
I'm not.
Quite a buzz around this lovely stadium. Opened, as I say, in 1994, the 10th year here. And the Masters Shield is what is at stake today. The winner will take away one of those shields. Agassi here has 15 of them, more than anybody else. He didn't play last week, or 2 weeks ago now, of course, at Indian Wells because of his shoulder injury, and I think we have to be thankful for that he did rest it so that he could be fit for here, and he is. He's 2-3.
How important these Master Shields are to the players. I know of one player that will remain nameless who said he will gladly trade an Olympic medal that he's won in this sport for a Master Shield.
Well, the point is that all the best players are here. There's only 1 week, and it's almost more difficult to win one of these than a Grand Slam, in the sense that, just coming up to the hour, in the sense that they don't have the day's rest that you enjoy in the slams. Only the second time this game that he'd lost the first point on his serve, second time today. Seems to have repaired the damage.
This is where Agassi is so impressive. Not only does he give you nothing from the baseline, but if you drop anything short, he's up to it like a flash and just punishing you, pounding the Moya backhand.
So Moya's lead short-lived, despite the loss of the opening point, winning the next 4. So this is where the test really starts for Moya. He's got to maintain the quality of this delivery. Because the other thing about Agassi is he's played, as we say, a very composed match, chosen when to come into the net. In fact, hasn't lost a point when he's come in. 11 times he's come in, 11 times he's won the point.
The interesting thing about this rally was Agassi started it 6-8 feet behind the baseline. Usually he starts much further up the court than that. So it was a different rhythm, something different for Moya to look at and really put him off his stride.
I think the crowd sensed that the end may be near. Club 30.
He has the best anticipation of any player in the world, and you can see an excellent example of that here. Not only does he anticipate correctly, but when he gets the opportunity to play the shot, his technique is perfect.
And suddenly 3 breaks points. He's done it. What a man. Pouncing like a panther on the prey. It's Agassi now with a break. 4-3 in sight of another win. Well, Moya losing that first point with a forehand that he hit long, almost inevitably was going to be under pressure with Agassi in this one.
That's the trouble. You give him just one opportunity and he's there to take it, particularly at the beginning of a game. That's when he really ups the level of his game and puts you under so much pressure. So few players, as we've seen throughout this year, can live with him. He's playing some of the very best tennis, the most intelligent tennis of his career.
And that was the first time in this set that he had taken the first point against the Moya serve, or rather that Moya had given him the first point on his serve. And he's ruthless, absolutely ruthless. Focused, ruthless, efficient. And Darren Cahill, I think, has been a huge help in guiding him into this sort of frame of mind. clouds scudding by overhead on a slightly windy day, which hasn't affected Agassi at all. He takes the new balls, he's used the wind to his advantage, and he's now ahead with a break in the second set, leading 6-3, 4-3.
This is the first point that Agassi's lost at the net. It had to be something special. Exceptionally well and playing high percentage tennis on the little pickup, but Moya was exceptionally good on the forehand down the line, hitting with a lot of spin to get the necessary accuracy, and Agassi just unable to control his racket face under pressure.
A moment of inspiration on the backhand that has produced too many losers for comfort today, but when it matters, a winner. Well now, here is a chance to get back 2 break points.
No sé si a esta, Marta. No sé si a esta.
You can't possibly overrule what in fact was Agassi's 8th ace. Well, what do you say when in trouble, get your first ball in? Twice he's done it.
That's what he's been able to do all week. Whenever he's got under the slightest pressure, he's been able to call upon his first serve.
Well, he knows that this is probably the last chance. True, if Agassi holds, he'll have to serve once more for the match if Moya can hold his own serve, but he's had the chances in this game, and that's why he's so frustrated. He deserves the family applause there, does Agassi. He came through the sharpest test he's faced today with flying colours.
Moya reacted very well to his own service broken. A very good couple of points early in that game, but had nothing to answer the Agassi first serves.
3-5. the wind again, Agassi there, to perfection, to bring 3 championship points. He's done it. Family celebrations for a 6-time champion here in Miami. Andre Agassi, unique among his peers, the only man to have done what he has achieved today, win this title 6 times. A quite remarkable performance, an hour and 11 minutes. 6-3, 6-3. Agassi retains his title. Well, we've said all there is to say just about this American who refuses to grow old. A Peter Pan performance today.
It's a masterclass in playing in difficult, windy conditions, and so tight with his unforced errors, gave his opponent so little to work with, and Moya wasn't able to serve well enough. His backhand didn't hold up under pressure, and Agassi was simply too good.
Well, really, the emotions that must be surging through him. He's won other titles 5 times, but never has he won any title anywhere 6 times. 5 times in Miami, 5 times in Washington, 5 times in San Jose. But this is a 6th.
Unforced errors for Agassi, 13 and 28 winners, simply too good. Moya not serving well enough, 51% is not good enough, and 20 unforced errors, way too much.
Well, I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed that, as you called it, a masterclass of playing in the wind, because conditions vary at all tournaments that are out of doors all the time, and you simply have to be able to adapt. Not all players can. Agassi, supreme in that regard. And let's relive with Andre Agassi that wonderful moment when, for the 6th time, he became the champion here. And now he knows the job is done. And the customary bow to all 4 quarters of the stadium to acknowledge the worship of the fans. And for Darren Cahill, when the match was finally over, relief and congratulations. Well, a triumphant progress it has been here for the man who is probably going to overtake Leighton Hewitt in the world rankings if he goes on playing like this. Leighton Hewitt losing here in his first match against the oldest man in the draw, Clavet of Spain, in his retirement year. That was a surprise.
It certainly was. Hewitt was a little bit exhausted from exertions of winning in Indian Wells. These Masters Series titles are very difficult to win. Take a lot out of you, and you certainly struggled.
So just getting ready for the presentation ceremony. All the dignitaries are assembled on court. Tony Trabert will be doing the announcement in a moment. And just getting everybody lined up in the right places. The ball boys are all there. The lines people are there. And the tournament committee, they're all there too. Butch Buchholz, the man whose dream this was, to have a tournament at the... There's Jaden Gill, Andre's son, with Mum. And the dream of Buchholz and his brother, Butch and Cliff, was to bring to Miami a tournament that contained the 96 best men and women. And the tournament has gone from strength to strength. This, its 19th holding, and the crowd just a little bit below the record levels of 2 years ago. We've had about 254,000 here this year, The record 2 years ago, 270,000. Well, Andre just acknowledging the fans. Congratulations. He's become quite an elder statesman, as this fellow. As we were talking about the punk rock image that he had when he was 19, but what an elder statesman now. And every time at a press conference, he considers questions carefully and answers them very well. So, ready to go down to Tony Trabert.
Our master of ceremonies today is the winner of 10 Grand Slam titles and a member of the International Tennis Hall of Fame, Tony Trabert.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. How about a nice round of applause for these two wonderful players? It's now my pleasure to introduce the tournament chairman, Mr. Butch Buchholz. Butch.
Thank you, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my chance to say a special thanks to very special people that make this tournament go. We did a little analysis on how many people actually worked here during the tournament, and I was surprised to find out that we have over 3,000 people working the properties. We have 1,000 volunteers, 400 ball children, and another 1,500 people. And I'd just like to say thank you to Tracy Knight and all the ball kids and the volunteers. And to our referee, Alan Mills. He's the referee of a small little tournament across the pond called Wimbledon, and he's been with us for all of our 19 years. This next gentleman has probably one of the most difficult jobs in all of sports, and he's done it for 12 years. The chairman and CEO of the ATP Tour, Mark Miles. The person that runs this tournament on a day-to-day basis and manages those 3,000 people, and is now our new tournament director, Adam Barrett. Adam has put together the best staff in this business, in my opinion. And to all of our sponsors, we couldn't do it without you. To the press, our print media from all over the world, CBS television. We're in 156 countries around the world, translated in 44 languages. And today, this match was seen in Times Square on the market site at NASDAQ. So. And lastly, to our fans, we couldn't do it without you.
Thank you, Butch. Now if we could ask Carlos to come forward, please.
Well, he'll get a huge round of applause, will Moya. He fought valiantly but unavailingly today, but it's been a great 12 days.
Carlos, congratulations on a wonderful tournament, the farthest you've gotten here in the finals. Conditions were tough, but it was also very tough playing against Andre, wasn't it?
Well, he played very well today. He didn't give me any chance to try to win this match, and been great. So, but I think it's been a wonderful week for me, and I never got to the final here, so this was the first time, and hopefully next time I have the chance to win.
You have a lot of fans here today. I'm sure you'd like to thank them.
Yeah, I would like to thank all the fans who have been coming this week to support me, and also I would like to thank all the sponsors, NASDAQ, and all the people who made this tournament possible. Also my team who's there, Patty, Juan, Jan. Without them, I could not be here today.
Well, Carlos, congratulations, and to present you with your runner-up trophy is Mr. Wick Simmons.
Carlos, congratulations. It looked like you tried everything you could, and today Andre was just a little too good. But thank you very much for a terrific effort. And on behalf of all the NASDAQ 100 companies, congratulations on being this year's finalist.
And with that lovely trophy, a check
Carlos
for
Moya, ladies and gentlemen.
$50,000.
Andre, if you'd come forward, please.
The man who has made this tournament his very own.
Congratulations, but I have a hunch you might be in trouble when you go home. Steffi won 5 of these championships. You've now won 6. What do you explain to her?
I finally beat her at something. That's probably the toughest accomplishment out here, is to do something better than she did. But today was a great day for me. I couldn't be more pleased with the way I was hitting the ball, and everything sort of fell my way, and these are the days you hope they do that. So I was pretty fortunate.
Well, you seem to be playing as well as you've ever played. Would you feel that way?
Hard to be that objective, but I like the way I like the way I'm doing most things. So I'm still healthy, I'm still eager, and I'm still enjoying being out here.
You've got some people you want to thank, I'm sure. You got some folks here you'd like to thank?
Well, first of all, to the tournament staff and everybody that makes this tournament such a success. I mean, from the players' perspective, it's truly one of the greatest stops of the year, and I can't tell you how much we all enjoy it. I love being down here for so many reasons, but probably most importantly is I love playing here in front of all you. Thanks for all the years, thanks for all the love, and I look forward to coming back next year.
Very well done. And now, Andre, Wick Simmons has your Waterford Trophy. Congratulations.
Andre, what impresses me most is this is the 17th year you've played here. 17 tournaments in a row. That's got to be a record. And of course, you're the only champion NASDAQ knows. Congratulations on a great match.
$500,000 along with that Waterford Crystal Trophy. And the Masters Shield will be presented as well.
Andre, with your victory here at the NASDAQ 100 Open, you join an elite league of champions to win the Masters Series Shield. Created by the artisans of Waterford Crystal, the Shield is another reward for conquering all in your path these past 2 weeks. To present the Masters Series trophy is Mr. Mark Miles. Mark?
Thank you, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, Andre, in winning the title today, wins his 16th Masters Series title, more than any player ever. Andre, congratulations.
It is a phenomenal record, this. It really is. 16, and only 2 venues on the 9 remain to be conquered.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to turn the mic back to Butch for a very special presentation. Butch?
Thank you, Tony. This past December, we lost our Chairman Emeritus, Jerry Boyce. And the tournament would like to do something to recognize his contributions. Jerry had a great passion for this tournament. And the tournament wants to recognize somebody on our staff who had that same passion. And the first award winner this year is Dagny Woodcock Potter.
Dagny Woodcock Potter, the former wife of Warren Woodcock, the Australian tennis player, but now remarried.
Dagny was the first employee that my brother and I hired 21 years ago in Delray Beach, and it's been great.
Jerry, I know you're up there and you are watching, and I certainly hope we did you proud. I guarantee you, however, that you are not as proud as I am to receive this honor. Thank you for all you taught us, and thank you all for coming every year again and again.
Well done, Dagny Potter. Congratulations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our men's singles champion for the NASDAQ 100 Open for 2003, Andre Agassi, and Carlos Moya. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Well, of course, the photographers will demand their fill now. First, the 2-shot with both of them there, and then Poor Carlos will have to retire, and Andre holds centre stage, which he's done here now 6 times. It is a remarkable career. It shows no signs of slackening. And there are 2 banks of photographers either side, so they turn now to the other side. A remarkable occasion, this. 17 consecutive years here, that in itself extraordinary. And of course, today was his 8th final. He's lost a couple. 1 to Sampras and 1 to Rios. So there it is. We've been in awe of this great man's performance again here this week. I think he remains one of the game's greatest ever players, with his now 16 Masters Series titles, his 8 Grand Slam titles, and the winner at one stage or another of all 4 of the Grand Slams. So there it is. It's time now for us to think what lies ahead as we leave Miami. We look forward to our next Masters Series title in a couple of weeks' time in Monte Carlo. We hope that you'll be there with us for that, and that you've enjoyed our coverage here. For Jason Goodall, I'm John Barrett, on behalf of the entire production team, wishing you for the moment goodbye from Miami.